Did you know that 7 out of 10 older adults living alone wish their homes were safer and easier to manage? But here's the surprising part. Most of the fixes they need cost less than $30. Think about that. Not thousands in renovations. Not fancy senior smart homes. Just small, inexpensive changes that could prevent falls, add comfort, and make every day a little easier. Picture this. You're trying to plug in your phone at night, but the cord's tangled under the chair. You lean over and feel that twinge in your lower back again. Or maybe you've stubbed your toe walking to the bathroom in the dark, or dropped something on the floor and stared at it, wondering if it's worth the pain to bend down. These little frustrations may seem minor, but over time, they chip away at independence. And the truth is, they're not signs of aging weakness. They're signs of a home that hasn't evolved with you. But what if your home could adapt to you instead? What if small, affordable upgrades, things you can order online or pick up at your local Walmart, could help you live safer, longer, and with more confidence? Today, we're revealing 10 affordable essentials under $30 that make living alone after 70 not just possible, but peaceful. Simple, clever upgrades that keep your freedom intact without draining your wallet. So before you think you need to move in with family or pay for an expensive remodel, stay tuned, because the tools we'll show you today might be the difference between struggling through daily chores and enjoying every moment in your own home. Hit like and subscribe, because independence should never come with fear or fatigue. Meet Evangeline Moss, 78, a retired art teacher from Vermont. For nearly 4 decades, her classroom was filled with color. She taught hundreds of students how to paint skies that looked alive and rivers that shimmered with light. But now, in her quiet little cottage surrounded by pine trees and watercolor sketches, her biggest challenge isn't mixing paint, it's maintaining her independence. Evangeline still paints every Sunday morning, the same way she always has, with a mug of chamomile tea beside her and sunlight spilling across her studio table. But recently, she admitted that even holding her paintbrush had become harder. Her wrists ache, her knees stiffen, and her confidence wavers with every small accident. Like the day she slipped reaching for a pan in the kitchen and barely caught herself on the counter. Her daughter, alarmed, begged her to move in. "Mom, you shouldn't be alone anymore," she said. And for a moment, Evangeline almost agreed. But that night, sitting in her favorite chair, surrounded by her art, she made a decision. She would adapt her space instead of surrendering her freedom. She began researching small home upgrades for seniors, affordable fixes, not renovations. Things that would make her house work with her instead of against her. And what she found surprised her. Independence didn't require thousands of dollars or giving up her space, it just needed a few smart, intentional changes. Evangeline's story is more than inspiring. It's proof that aging doesn't mean giving up control. It means evolving with wisdom. And as we go through these 10 affordable essentials, remember her story. Because, like Evangeline, you might realize that independence doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be intentional. Step number 1. Motion sensor night lights. Light the way, automatically. For many older adults, nighttime is when the home feels least safe. The walk to the bathroom or the kitchen for a glass of water becomes a small gamble, especially when your balance isn't what it used to be. That first step into a dark hallway can be disorienting, and one misplaced foot can mean bruises, broken bones, or worse. Studies show that most senior falls happen between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m., often in familiar spaces like bedrooms and hallways, where confidence replaces caution. That's where motion sensor night lights come in. For about $12, you can turn your home into a space that anticipates your movement instead of reacting to it. These small, battery-powered or USB rechargeable lights automatically illuminate the moment they sense motion. No switches to fumble with, no cords to trip over, and no need to leave lamps running all night. They cast a soft, warm glow that's bright enough to see clearly without being harsh on sleepy eyes. Evangeline Moss, 78, the retired art teacher from Vermont, installed one near her stairs after a close call one night. She woke up around 2 a.m. to get a glass of water, misjudged the last step, and nearly fell forward. That moment scared her more than she admitted to her daughter. So the next morning, she ordered a pack of motion lights online. She placed one by the stairs, one in her hallway, and another near her bathroom door. When she tried them for the first time, she laughed softly and said, "It's like my home learned to care for me back." The lights flicked on before her feet even touched the floor, guiding her safely from one end of the hall to the other. Now, her home feels alive, attentive, even. The darkness that once made her anxious now feels peaceful. She doesn't have to second-guess where the step ends or whether she's walking into a wall. She can move freely, confidently, and safely, even half asleep. And the best part? Motion sensor lights are incredibly affordable and easy to install. No wiring, no drilling, no electrician. Stick them with adhesive pads or magnets, and they're ready to go. It's one of the smallest upgrades a senior can make, but it delivers some of the biggest peace of mind. If you or someone you love lives alone, this is the first step to transforming a home into a partner in safety. Because aging in place shouldn't mean living in fear of the dark, it should mean moving through your space with quiet confidence, one light at a time. Step number 2. Reach a grabber tool. No more overreaching or bending too far. For many older adults, bending over to pick something up or stretching for a shelf can feel like a test of strength and balance, and one wrong move can end in pain, or worse, a fall. It's not weakness, it's simply what happens when our joints, muscles, and reflexes change with age. But here's the surprising truth. One of the simplest and most affordable tools, costing as little as $14, can prevent many of those daily risks that cause hospital visits every year. Enter the Reacher Grabber tool, also known as an extension reacher. It's lightweight, easy to hold, and gives an extra 2 to 3 feet of reach without a single strain. Imagine plucking a can from the top shelf, grabbing a sock from under the bed, or picking up dropped mail without leaning down or calling someone for help. It restores control, independence, and safety in one elegant swoop. When Evangeline Moss, our 78-year-old retired art teacher from Vermont, first tried one, she joked that it made her feel taller than 6 feet again. For years, she'd been struggling with the simplest things, reaching for her paintbrushes when they rolled under her table or bending to pick up her sketchbooks. She used to wait for her daughter to visit and help her retrieve things. But the first day she used her Reacher tool, she smiled and said, "It's small, but it's dignity in your hand." She began keeping one in almost every room. One in her kitchen, one in her art studio, and another in the living room for mail and dropped remote controls. The freedom it gave her wasn't just physical, it was emotional. She no longer had to weigh whether it was worth it to bend for something. She could act, move, and live on her own terms again. Modern Reacher tools are designed specifically with seniors in mind: ergonomic handles, non-slip rubber grips, and lightweight aluminum frames that don't tire your wrist. Some even fold up or come with magnetic tips to pick up metal items like keys or jewelry. It's the kind of innovation that quietly redefines what independence looks like in later life. Experts now recommend keeping one near common drop zones, beside your bed, next to your favorite chair, or near the laundry area. Think of it not as a gadget, but as an extension of your freedom. Because every time you use it, you're not just grabbing an object, you're grabbing back control over your space, your body, and your confidence. Evangeline summed it up perfectly. "Every time I use it, I feel less like I'm slowing down, and more like I'm adapting." That's the spirit of aging smartly, not fearfully. For under $15, you're not buying a tool. You're buying peace of mind, one reach at a time. Step number 3. Non-slip bathroom stickers. Because the most dangerous room in the house shouldn't be the smallest. The bathroom, a place meant for calm and comfort, can quickly become one of the most dangerous rooms in a senior's home. Statistics show that nearly 80% of household falls among adults over 65 happen in or around the bathroom. The combination of smooth tiles, soap residue, and water turns even the most careful steps into a hidden hazard. But here's what's astonishing: one of the simplest and most affordable solutions, clear, non-slip adhesive stickers that cost less than $8, can prevent most of those falls before they ever happen. These textured safety strips blend seamlessly into tubs, showers, and tile floors, offering traction without changing how the space looks. They're nearly invisible, easy to install, and can transform the bathroom from a risk zone into a space of confidence. No screws, no drilling, no ugly rubber mats curling up at the corners. Just small, smart texture that grips your feet gently and securely. For Evangeline Moss, the 78-year-old retired art teacher from Vermont. This was a game changer. After slipping once while rinsing her paintbrushes in the tub, a near miss that shook her confidence, she swore she'd never feel that fear again. Her daughter insisted on bright shower mats, but Evangeline couldn't stand how they looked in her calm, blue and white bathroom. So she found a better answer: clear, non-slip safety stickers that disappeared once applied. I laughed, she said, because they didn't ruin my bathroom's look, but they saved my peace of mind. Now, each morning, as she steps into her shower, she no longer braces herself in fear. She stands tall, balanced, and relaxed. That's the beauty of invisible safety. Your eyes don't notice it, but your body does. And it's often the smallest upgrades that give the biggest relief. What makes these $8 strips even more remarkable is how practical they are. They resist mold, they don't peel easily, and they can last for years without needing replacement. Some brands even design them in elegant patterns, like spirals or waves, turning safety into subtle style. Experts in senior safety often remind us that independence doesn't just come from what we can do, it comes from removing what could stop us. For many older adults, the fear of falling in the bathroom keeps them from showering as often or moving freely in their own homes. Non-slip stickers change that psychology. They don't just add grip, they restore trust in your space. Evangeline summed it up perfectly one morning while making tea after her shower. I realized I didn't think about falling anymore, she said softly. And that silence, the absence of fear, is worth far more than $8. It's a small investment that buys something priceless: confidence, dignity, and a sense of safety that blends quietly into your everyday life. Because for older adults, peace of mind isn't about big changes. It's about smart ones that let you move freely, beautifully, and without worry. Step number 4. Easy grip jar and bottle opener. Independence in the kitchen starts with a lid. It's a moment many older adults know too well: standing in the kitchen, twisting and straining at a jar that just won't open. The lid seems fused shut, the counter becomes a battleground, and frustration replaces joy. For many seniors, this isn't just about a jar of pickles or jam, it's about dignity. Each struggle can feel like a quiet reminder that the hands that once did everything with ease now hesitate. But here's the uplifting truth: it doesn't have to be that way. Enter the EasyGrip jar and bottle opener, a small $10 tool that delivers something far bigger: confidence. Designed for arthritic hands, reduced grip strength, and stiff joints, this simple gadget gives back the one thing so many older adults fear losing: control in their own kitchen. For Evangeline Moss, 78, the retired art teacher from Vermont, this little device became her favorite kitchen companion. Opening a jar used to be a battle, she laughed. Now it's breakfast. She remembered mornings when she'd stand over her countertop, determined to twist open a jar of homemade marmalade. I'd tap it with a spoon, run it under hot water, even plead with it, she joked. And every time, I'd think, how silly that one jar can make you feel helpless. When her daughter brought her an arthritis-friendly opener as part of a Christmas stocking, she thought it was just another gadget. But when she tried it, everything changed. I didn't need to call for help. I didn't need to wait. I could just open it, she said. That tiny motion, the click of the lid releasing, felt like victory. It wasn't about the jar, Evangeline explained. It was about being capable again. These openers come in many forms: silicone grips that mold around lids, multi-size tools that work for everything from bottles to peanut butter jars, and ergonomic designs with handles shaped for comfort. The best ones, recommended by occupational therapists, use simple leverage to reduce the force needed by up to 70%. That means even hands with arthritis, tremors, or reduced flexibility can twist without pain. Beyond functionality, tools like this restore a sense of rhythm and pride in everyday life. Cooking becomes enjoyable again. Seniors can prepare meals without stopping to ask for help or skipping foods that are too hard to open. It's more than convenience, it's a return to independence, bite by bite. Evangeline now keeps one opener in her kitchen drawer and another in her art studio for paint tubes and containers. She calls them freedom tools. There's a certain joy, she said softly, in knowing I can still do small things on my own. That I don't need to wait for anyone. Experts in aging independence agree that maintaining control over daily activities like eating and cooking plays a huge role in emotional well-being. According to a 2024 AARP survey, seniors who can manage their own meals report 25% higher satisfaction with their quality of life than those who rely on assistance. It's not about the meal, it's about mastery. The Easy Grip jar opener might cost just $10, but for millions of older adults, it's a priceless investment. It restores confidence, eliminates frustration, and reminds seniors that independence isn't defined by age, it's defined by adaptation. As Evangeline put it best, when you can open your own jar of jam, you start to believe you can still open new chapters of your life, too. Step number 5, over-the-door hanging organizer. Declutter without bending or building. There's a quiet kind of chaos that sneaks into every home, especially as we age. It's not the dramatic kind of clutter you see on TV shows, but the slow, steady spread of little things. Pill bottles on the counter. Chargers tangled in a drawer. A hairbrush on the kitchen table for some reason. For many seniors, it's not laziness, it's logistics. When reaching, bending, or drilling becomes a challenge, storage often shrinks and clutter quietly takes over. That's where something as simple as an over-the-door hanging organizer can feel like a small miracle. For under $20, this lightweight, no-installation tool adds vertical storage without bending, lifting, or calling a handyman. It transforms unused space, the back of a door, into a calm, reachable, organized system. For Evangeline Moss, 78, the retired art teacher from Vermont, this $18 fix changed the rhythm of her daily life. I used to keep my medications in 3 different rooms, she said, chuckling. It felt like a scavenger hunt every morning. But when her granddaughter helped her hang a clear pocket organizer on her pantry door, everything changed. It felt like I got new cabinets without spending a dime, Evangeline said with a grin. Each pocket became a mini station. One for daily vitamins, one for first aid items, one for art brushes, and even a few for her watercolor paints. It's like the walls started helping me stay organized, she laughed. What made the biggest difference wasn't just tidiness, it was accessibility. The organizer kept everything at eye level, meaning no more bending to reach drawers or stretching to grab supplies. For someone with mild arthritis and a touch of balance issues, that mattered. It's strange, Evangeline reflected, but standing upright to grab what I need makes me feel steadier, safer, more in control. Experts on senior-friendly home design agree that vertical organization reduces fall risk and increases independence. A 2025 report from the National Institute on Aging highlighted that simple storage adjustments can reduce household accidents by up to 40%, especially for older adults living alone. No expensive renovations. No complicated gadgets. Just smarter placement. Evangeline even found emotional value in her organizer. She started labeling each pocket in bright colors, her wellness wall, as she calls it. It gave her a sense of order, a small daily victory that began and ended her day on a positive note. It's like giving every object a home, she explained. And when everything's in its place, my mind feels clearer too. The best part. Over-the-door organizers now come in styles that don't scream storage. There are linen fabric ones for a soft, homey look, transparent plastic ones that make everything easy to find, even mesh versions that let air flow around cleaning supplies or small linens. They're perfect for medications, toiletries, socks, pantry items, or craft supplies. Evangeline uses a second one in her bathroom. One pocket for lotion, one for face towels, one for hairbrushes. I don't have to bend or stretch anymore, she said. It's all right there, waiting. And that's the beauty of it. What seems like a simple organizer becomes a quiet act of empowerment. It's a way for seniors to say, my home still fits me. I just needed to rearrange it a little. Evangeline summed it up best. When you live alone, everything in your home needs to make life easier, not harder. This $18 organizer isn't just storage, it's sanity. For many older adults, that's the kind of small change that turns independence into peace of mind. Step number 6. Long-handled shower brush. Clean comfort without contortion. There's a quiet truth many older adults won't say out loud. bathing can slowly become one of the most difficult and discouraging parts of living alone. It's not the water or the soap, it's the reach. The twisting. The bending. The small fear that one wrong move could end in a slip. For many seniors, those few minutes in the shower start feeling less like self-care and more like survival. That's why Evangeline Moss, 78, a retired art teacher from Vermont, calls her $16 long-handled shower brush a tool of independence. Lightweight and ergonomically designed, it turned what used to be an exhausting task into something peaceful again. "I don't feel like I'm wrestling with my body anymore," she said. "I just glide, rinse, and breathe." The brush's extended handle allows easy reach to the back, legs, and feet, areas that become challenging to clean with limited flexibility. For seniors managing arthritis, hip stiffness, or balance concerns, this small change makes a profound difference. Evangeline's doctor even encouraged it, explaining that maintaining consistent hygiene without strain helps preserve mobility and lowers the risk of infection or skin irritation, a common but overlooked issue in aging care. "It's not just about staying clean," Evangeline said, smiling. "It's about staying confident." That confidence shows up in small ways. She takes longer, calmer showers now, humming as she cleans, no longer afraid of overextending or losing her footing. It's dignity restored, one handle at a time. Today's market offers smart variations, some with non-slip grips, replaceable brush heads, or gentle silicone bristles for sensitive skin. The best part? They're available in most local stores and online for under $20. For Evangeline, it wasn't just a bathroom tool, it was a reminder that aging doesn't mean losing ease, it just means upgrading your approach. Her reflection says it all: "That $16 brush gave me back comfort I didn't know I'd lost." Every senior deserves that kind of simple freedom. Step number 7. Cordless electric kettle. For tea, coffee, or comfort, without the wait. For many older adults, the morning cup of tea or coffee isn't just a habit, it's a ritual of calm, a moment of grounding before the day begins. But as the years add up, even small routines can become risky. Heavy stovetop kettles, boiling water, and shaky grips turn a soothing act into a safety hazard. That's why Evangeline Moss, 78, a retired art teacher from Vermont, calls her cordless electric kettle the simplest luxury that gave me my mornings back. She used to lift a metal kettle that felt like a bowling ball when full, always keeping one hand on the counter for balance. Then one morning, she nearly spilled boiling water on her wrist, and that was the wake-up call. "I realized I didn't need to struggle for a tradition," she said softly. "I just needed a smarter way to keep it." Her new cordless model changed everything. With a lightweight base, automatic shutoff, and ergonomic handle, she could fill, pour, and brew without anxiety. The built-in safety features, auto shutoff when the water boils and dry boil protection, removed the constant worry of forgetting it on the stove. For seniors living alone, that's not just convenience, it's peace of mind. Now, every morning begins the same way: a gentle hum of water heating, a slow pour into her favorite floral mug, and the scent of chamomile rising. "It's my quiet ritual," Evangeline said with a smile. "And for the first time in years, it feels safe again." This upgrade isn't just about hot drinks, it's about preserving independence through thoughtful design. Small switches, big impact. That's the kind of innovation that keeps older adults living freely and confidently, one peaceful pour at a time. Step number 8. Silicone sink mat. Because fragile hands deserve gentle support. At first glance, a silicone sink mat might seem like a small, forgettable item. But for older adults, it's one of those quiet heroes that prevents both heartbreak and harm. After all, at 78, Evangeline Moss, a retired art teacher from Vermont, knows that the kitchen sink isn't just where dishes get washed, it's where accidents often begin. She remembers one morning vividly. While rinsing a glass mug, her hand slipped, the mug shattered, and she instinctively reached to catch it, earning a small cut that took weeks to fully heal. "It wasn't the glass that scared me," she admitted. "It was realizing how quickly a tiny accident could turn into a big setback when you live alone." That's when she discovered silicone sink mats. For less than $10, she turned her sink into a soft landing zone. No more harsh clangs when dishes slip, no more sharp breaks that send her heart racing. The flexible, non-slip material cushions every dish, absorbs shock, and prevents water pooling on counters, reducing the chance of slips or dropped plates. But beyond practicality, it restored something bigger: peace of mind. "It's not about dishes," Evangeline said, tracing her finger across the mat's rippled pattern. "It's about knowing I've made my home kinder to my hands." These mats are now trending among senior households nationwide, proof that smart, thoughtful tools don't have to be expensive or complicated. Sometimes, it's the quiet, affordable fixes that keep independence within reach. A $10 solution, a safer kitchen, and one less worry. Because after 70, every gentle adjustment is a small act of self-respect. Step number 9. Portable step stool with handle. Confidence in every reach. For Evangeline Moss, 78, retired art teacher from Vermont, one of the hardest adjustments to aging wasn't memory or mobility, it was reach. "My paints sat on the top shelf for months," she confessed. "Not because I couldn't paint, but because I couldn't safely grab them." That all changed when she discovered a portable step stool with a handle, a simple, sturdy design that costs less than $30 but gives back something priceless: confidence. Unlike traditional stools, this version comes with a supportive handrail and non-slip base, designed for seniors who want independence without fear of falling. Lightweight enough to carry from room to room, yet solid enough to trust, it turns the impossible into the everyday. Evangeline keeps hers tucked near her art cabinet, using it to reach her brushes, plants, and sometimes even her favorite teacup. "Now I reach my paints again," she smiled, without my daughter panicking. What makes this small tool so powerful isn't just the safety, it's the psychological lift it brings. Studies show that seniors who can perform daily tasks without assistance experience higher self-esteem and reduced anxiety. A simple step stool becomes a symbol of control, one step toward keeping autonomy alive. In Evangeline's words, "It's not just a stool, it's a statement that I can still do the things that make me me." And that's what these affordable essentials are all about: keeping your world within reach, safely and confidently. Step number 10. Emergency key lock box. Security with trust. For many older adults living alone, safety often feels like a tug-of-war between freedom and dependence. That's exactly how Evangeline Moss, 78, a retired art teacher from Vermont, felt, grateful for her daughter's care but weary of constant check-ins. The turning point came with a small but powerful solution: an emergency key lock box. This simple tool, mounted discreetly outside her home, stores a spare house key behind a secure combination lock. In an emergency, trusted family members or first responders can gain quick access without breaking doors or waiting for locksmiths. "It told my daughter," Evangeline said, "I'm safe, but I'm still in charge." For under $30, this little box bridged a big emotional gap. It replaced daily anxiety with quiet assurance, for both sides. Her daughter could relax, knowing she could help if needed, while Evangeline regained the sense of privacy she cherished. In 2025, many seniors across the US are adopting this small device as part of what experts call the independent safety trend. Paired with modern touches like video doorbells or medical alerts, it forms a complete circle of confidence, secure yet self-sufficient. Evangeline keeps hers beside a cheerful welcome mat and says it makes her home feel both open and protected. Because independence doesn't mean shutting people out, it means choosing how they come in. A simple lockbox, but a powerful message: you can live alone and still never feel unprotected. As the video comes to a close, the focus shifts from the tools themselves to what they truly are: a motion light that prevents a fall, a grabber that restores reach, a lockbox that builds trust. Each one costs less than dinner at a restaurant, yet together they create something priceless: the ability to live freely without fear. Evangeline Moss, 78, the retired Vermont art teacher who turned her cozy cottage into a safer haven, smiled softly as she looked around her home. "These tools didn't just change my home," she said, "they changed how I see my age." For her, aging stopped being something to fear, it became something to design intentionally. Every item, every adaptation, was a quiet declaration: I can still live life on my own terms. And that's the message every senior deserves to hear. You don't need to spend thousands or move into assisted living to feel safe. You just need the right solutions that protect your independence and confidence. If this inspired you, like, share, and subscribe. Because independence after 70 isn't about doing it all yourself. It's about doing it smart. Don't miss our next one. The 7 everyday habits that help seniors live independently well into their 80s. Because thriving alone doesn't stop with safety, it begins with strength.